So, man, you're like, who do we talk to but each other on the internet? What a fantasia world. But I'm here in my box truck because I'm hiding from the ways of the world. I don't know where else to go but to live in a cave. I mean, people are just nuts. I mean, I guess I'm nuts too, because the way you perceive others, you are too. So it's all connected. What I really like to talk about today is the true definition of what dimensions are. And actually, dimensional measurements is man-made measurements. But this is how we're going to deal with it, because this is how man deals with it as they grow with the plan. I think this is what I'm about to say is a very innocent way of explaining it, the simplest way. People are making too many things out of it, to understand what dimensions really came from and where the universe really comes from, too. Actually, the universe is our reflection. It's not something overseeing us. We're overseeing it. All the universes. I think there's about 43 universes now. And I'm out here in my box truck, so I'm not wearing my glasses so they don't reflect in the light, and I'm holding the camera with my left hand. Because it's a better camera. But here's what I'm up to. I want to share with you the chakra system, the dimensions of the chakra system, where it comes from. Let's start with the root chakra, the foot chakra, 6 and 12 inches below the feet, where Archangel Sandalphon sits. And that's where it's grounded into the earth, which comes later, but right now we're just going to talk about dimensional measurements of this. I'm not going to get into all the archangels, but how they sit in your body at every chakra point. They're not some kind of fantasy outside yourself in the universal world that comes to you. The archangels come from within, not from without. And they sit in your body. They live inside your body. All the angels live inside your body. Okay, that's another story too. But I'm going to go to the first dimension, is the root chakra of your feet. Okay? That's the first dimension. The second dimension is your sexual chakra system, your glands there, and whatever the parts are down there. The energy, every chakra is an energy point of light in the body. Energy points of light in the body. I gotta breathe here a minute. That's your second dimension. Okay? That's your second dimension. And from there, you go up to a solar plexus. That's your third dimension. That's where most of the people live for eons and eons of incarnations, from their 1D to your 2D to your 3D, which is your solar plexus area. That's where people live the most. Well, before that was in 2D, when all the sexual activity of birthing the world. Then they got a little bit over that. Well, the hunger became after. The hunger, the solar plexus of the 3D is survival and hunger and all that, surviving the body, feeding the body. That's third dimensional. It's survival mode, you know. It's like, it's not something that's terrible like people make it to be. That's all it is when you got to feed the body. But we want to get better at how to do that instead of staying in the old, you know, the way of cheating each other and stuff like that in the third dimension. And we don't want to stay down there just in that mode, you know, because there's no pure love there other than hunger of food, love for food. That's your third dimension. And then when we lift that up, because we want more than that, after we get that, we want more than that. So we move up to our heart center right here in your chest, right behind your breastbone. That's the seat of the soul, the primal soul. Oh, I forgot to say, the personality is created from 3D, from 3D. Your personality is created from there. That's where you create your personality. But that's the level of the soul being created from the first man's first awareness of being more than in the root chakra, you know. And moved up to 4D. This is 4D. Right here in your heart. In your heart chakra. It's where all the love and the principles of the Christ consciousness develop. That's where you surrender to the light of Christ consciousness, of planetary consciousness. Christ consciousness, planetary consciousness, the level of light. And you reach out for love. You bring in the love. You know? Down here we bring in the red, the will. In 1D, the second D, we bring in the red. You know, that just gets everything going well, and mainly in the second chakra, well, and even the first chakra. First chakra is coming from the black, though. Not the dark, I'm talking about the black. And we come up in the first D, you know, to create second D, we create the red. That's what puts everything into the gear, the birthing and the living of that. It's the will, the divine will to be. So then we move from that into again back in the third chakra to develop, you know, survival. And the struggle with that, to perfect that. And then we move up back again to the fourth dimension for the heart, for the love. That's where the primal soul, not the total soul. It's like a light beam that comes down through your top of your head, and it goes down your spine into the, you know, well, actually it's coming up right now. And in this, with the level I'm talking about it. And then we move up to 5D, which is the third eye. Your third eye, when it opens up, then you enter into the fifth dimension. But see, when you're doing all this, you're creating the outside world from here. You're the creator in this body, and you're creating the outside world as you go. Beginning from the root, from a mobibi, from a mobibi from the root of the earth, and you're moving up and developing. And when you develop up to the fifth dimension, that's when the Christ consciousness begins from the fourth dimension. Christ consciousness begins to open up, like what you want to call it, a gate, or you want to call it whatever. opens up that third eye. By this time, you've brought up aqua blue. See, the color system fits in this too. The 12 rays of color fit in this too. Red, second chakra, red with the black and the red, and here third chakra. It's the pink and the blue, kind of like, well, pink and blue's here, but I guess it's the brownish of the black, but that brown is like part of the black, so it's not really a ray of itself. We have to discuss that later, but right, up to the pink and the blue in the heart, the pink and the blue in the heart. Then up here in the third eye, all the aqua green and the aqua blue in the third eye, because when it opens up, when you meditate, you will see a little dot about a foot out from, or 6 inches to a foot out in front of your meditation in your third eye, and it projects, and this little pin dot, the white light pin dot, but when it starts to open up, it's like aqua blue or aqua greenish blue, and as you go into it, it opens up, and you go into the galactic fields of the universe. Okay, that's just the junior galactic entrance into the vastness of our galaxy that we function in from this planet. To travel further into the universals of the other galaxies, we have to go to the higher chakras, and so you're really in 5D, you're only right here. Get what I'm saying? It's not the ultimate you. It's just where you begin to understand that you're larger than the planetary body, the flesh body, and you enter into this fifth dimension. We measurement. So I'm using these measurements, to help you, but it's really not a measurement. It's just an experience. It's chakras. It took me years to understand what chakras were, but when I did, I understood. And fifth dimensional. I gotta take this slow because I gotta let that come back to me as I go. This book of knowledge. It's really not a book. It's really a gray area in your chakra channel. Okay. Fifth dimension. I get sidetracked because I can go higher before I know it. Fifth dimension galactic fields. Try to understand that when you enter into these fields, you create the universe. The galaxy from this level. You're creating everything. If you want to believe in aliens in that point, you're going to see aliens in that point. You're going to connect, because you really don't understand at this point. You're just a junior galactic. You're just beginning to go into it. So there's so much more to understand about that. When you open up your third eye, because there you're going to create your, there you're going to see, you're going to open up the third eye to the planetary realms too, you're going to see, you're going to experience the ghostly, planetary ghostly, the shadows of the ghostly world. And like one time I helped souls walking up and down the street enter into it's like a sky, a city up in the sky, in the southern sky, and I introduced them to that city. I went into the city myself, but I told the person at the gate, I said, look, I don't want to stay here. I want more than this. And so I moved on. They told me I wasn't my time anyways. I knew that, I guess, kinda. But then I went up to my crown chakra, the 6th dimension, the crown. This is the universal area. When you go through the crown, up through your head, through the crown, when your crown chakra opens up, it unites all this together, you know. It unites all this and you become this one chakra kind of in a way. And you start to think more up here than down here or even here. You move even above the love principles and you go up to the galactic principles of, you know, whatever's happening. And then the crown chakra takes you to the universals, the 6th dimension. I forgot to say, these are logos centers. Your logos center here, logos center here, logos center here. These are logos centers. The crown logos center. And those who already master, like the crown center is majestic order. The Christic order. Helios, Christic, and planetary. These are the centers of your chakra centers, logos centers, what I call the logos. I used to see myself, when I got in my crown chakra, I started seeing my logos center up there. Down on my planetary chakra, I see my planetary logos center. Sometimes I would see myself sitting on the earth, you know, in a logos position. But when I live in higher, I see myself in a flowered, glorious logos center of myself sitting inside the lotus flower. You know, it was beautiful, beautiful. And then once you're up there in your crown and your universal experience, I mean, there's levels within levels between each of these centers, from one center to the next center. I mean, you're going to go through some stuff. But, you know, and then you go up to your crown, universal experiences, where the reason it opened up more so than ever for humanity, because everything just opened up. You had NASA opened up and revealed that there was more than one universe. For eons and eons of time, we only understood one universe. Now we understand trillions of universes. I mean, things just happened really quick since the 1990s. I mean, we just opened up. We opened up. Our consciousness opened up. The planet grew. The planet became conscious of itself through its own chakra system. The planet became conscious that it's now a living being. That it's an actual living, breathing being. And it became aware of itself as a member of the Galactic Federation. It entered into its, you know, 5th dimension too. It's about at its 5th dimension to enter, for the planet itself to enter into the 3rd eye of itself, the inner vision of itself. It probably has. I have to talk to it more about the planet. We have to understand the planet more to see how advanced it is. But you're dealing with individuality and you're dealing with mass consciousness on the planet. And just like individuality and mass consciousness, each individual, like we can advance ourselves more than the mass consciousness is. But at the same time, we've got to deal with the mass consciousness. And that's not fun. But, you know, it's part of the thing. We've got to deal with our neighbors, politics, religions. They're all fading out, because the more you reach, you don't think like that anymore. You don't think about all these things in the political world of survival, which is stomach level stuff. Religion and all that is all stomach level stuff. You know, it's down here. When you start getting involved with these systems, you're dealing with your stomach or survival. You know, the politics, survival, money worlds. Warmongering. It sure has nothing to do with the heart. Don't have nothing to do with fourth dimension. It's all third dimensional, psychic eons of time of incarnations, psychic stuff. Of fear and hatreds and prides and jealousies, envies and strifes and lusts and ownerships of man. Keeping men in bondage with all that stuff. I mean, and the people play in the psychic worlds like it's the spiritual world, but it's not. It's the stomach chakra of 3D, which don't even exist anymore. Because we elevated ourselves, you know, to our heart. At least to that. And even though mankind is at their heart level consciousness, and we're talking about the masses now, I'm not talking about each individual now, I'm talking about the mass consciousness is entered into the heart, especially here in America. But the thing is, it's all going backwards right now. It's like it's looping around for some reason. It's like taking another look at itself. Did we really make it up to the heart? They're so confused about what God is and what God isn't. They're stuck on the name God because they can't understand what it is further than the name. When you start getting up here in the third eye, you start visualizing, you start having intergalactic experiences. You know, you're traveling and you'll meet other beings. They're just floating around. Up in the crown chakra, you just meet beings. And when you get there, man, you meet beings that are just floating around in 6D. I mean, they're floating around in the clarity of light. And they're doing wonderful things, unimaginable things. I see one man, you know, he was like a rainbow hat and a rainbow shirt and rainbow outfit, man, like suit, and he had rainbow little shoes on, you know. It's like he was sitting there in a yoga position, just suspended in what man calls space. But what is it? It's just a clarity of light. A clarity of light, and he's suspended in this clarity of light, and he was shooting diamonds of light, bing, bing, through the creation. And those diamonds of light were like stars, being like he was the father of all stars, all soul. Could be monad soul. The one soul. The one soul. It's all one soul. We're individualized through personality. But you get up here and the star soul is up here above your crown, okay? And that's your next chakra level. That's still part of the crown. Your star soul. When you start meeting your star soul. See, you're getting into 7D. 7D is the Melchizedek order of the crown, and is the Melchizedek order is the gate into the 7D of the soul. Monad. 7D monad. That's the seventh dimension, is your monad. Your soul. The entrance into that. And you got to go through Melchizedek order. You have to take on the consciousness of the Melchizedek logos center of that, of your star soul, which is you're still your individuality, you know, projecting through personality on the planet. And then you go from there to the monadic level, And the monadic letter is the 12 rays of light that shine through the monad, and we are each our own monad vehicle in there. We're each our own monad circle, and in that circle of monad, I mean, there's one main monad, you know what I'm saying? And one soul monad. And that's, out of those 12 rays, it comes in little extensions with another little circle with infinite amounts of soul in it. Infinite amounts in each one of these 12 rays. Infinite amounts of soul. Infinite. Beyond the sand, grains of the sand of the sea. You gotta understand this, bro. Sister, it's bigger than what we can imagine, and there's limitations that we put ourselves in. And these circles of monad of soul. What I mean by monad of soul is like these circles which all these infinite amounts of soul in it, like eggs. And each monad is a color. One of the 12 colors. It's all been all through our history. The 12 disciples, the 12 tribes, the 12 gates. 12 tribes, 12 disciples, and the 12 gates. We mentioned in the book of Revelations, up in the gates, and in this center, in this channel that I'm talking about what John was talking about is up here in the monad. He reached in consciousness while he was in prison the visions of the monad, but he had no idea basically what we can know about, understand about it now. But I'm telling you, that's what he saw. I tell you, when he's talking about the 12 gates, the 12 little circle, and up on each gate was the tribe's name, Israel tribe's name, and the name of the disciples upon each gate. And we went through these gates into the center, which I'm talking about now. It's the center, and the light beam through our center up to our light source. Right there. John saw this in the book of Revelation. He's the first one who saw this, okay? There weren't nobody else. He was the first. Just like Jesus was the first for Christ consciousness. Well, what I mean by the first, I mean they were the first to bring it to the earth, information into the earth. They weren't really basically the first, because it's all happening at the same time for each and every one of us. We all get this information all at the same time. But there's always the first man to integrate it into the consciousness of man. That's another story, but I will talk about that later. But just take a little bit that I gave you about it. Okay, now, after we're up in the monad and we're birthed from one of these circles, that's what creates our birth color, our birth ray, our prime ray, through our personality, so that we can, each reincarnation, we're birthed in one of those rays till we learn them. It's important for us to learn what they do, what the powers of them are, and the principles with each one of them. It's like the fruits of the spirit, If you ever studied the fruits of the spirit in the scriptures of the Bible, you understand, or any other, the scriptures of the fruits of the spirit. I mean, it's love, peace, harmony, all kinds of stuff. But each one of these rays contain all that. It's like virtue, meekness, on and on. And each of these rays hold certain principles of what I'm speaking of. And we have to experience each one of them and develop them within our system, our monad system, because we're creators. That's what we do. Okay, and then once we're into the birth and all that, okay, back to that. But we'll go further now to the one soul. I could talk on and on about the 12 rays of light. That ain't my principle right now. I'm just trying to explain to you what dimensions are. We're in the 7th dimension right now. What I'm talking about is the 7th dimension of understanding. We're just getting a peek into it. You know, it's like the 7th dimension. But I was doing this since the 1970s, so the more I grow, the more I integrate into my being as light. Okay, the one soul, now we're going up to the 8th dimension. The 8th dimension is filled with, we talk about the Council of 12 or Rays of Light now. So we're, the Council of 12, we're moving up into the 8th dimension to this little schooling of the Council of 12, what I'm talking about. This is the 8th dimension. And up into the one collective of it, see, the Council of 12, still I think within the 7th dimension, it could be the bridge into the 8th dimension, probably so. The Council of 12, it's a school. It's a schooling where we all go to school to study the 12 rays of birth through the one soul, from the one soul. And then, all this is spirit, you know. It's spirit overshadowing it all. Okay, now we're going up into, as we go through the Council of 12, we graduate into the light source, into the I am presence, which I call, and archangels call, the MAHATA. The MAHATA, it's the I am presence or the coming of the white horse. This is for mankind, you know. And we're doing this from this planet. And there's so much more to talk about what's happening through their experience, but still, I'm just talking about dimensions. I get carried away about what's happening. It's kind of hard for me to lay still and try to explain this because I travel so much. I'm going in and out of my body right now, you know, in a way. But here, if I fade away, I'll fade back. But have patience with me. At the 9th dimension is the light source. The 9th chakra. I can get into the 10th chakra, but not right now. It's called undifferentiated source. That's what it's an undifferentiated source, you know. And that has yet to be tapped in, much as undifferentiated light source. We're still developing and creating that, you know, because that's where we start creating new cosmic days. And that's another story, that cosmic days, infinite amounts of cosmic days, and we each are our own cosmic day. Have infinite amounts of us. And I know a lot of people don't really understand what that is, to be infinite and to be your own creator. The creator level is what I meant to say, the 9th dimension, the creator logos center. The creator logos center, the I am presence, I am light. Becoming conscious that you're a light being at this point, expressing in a physical body, through the soul, from the Spirit. And the Spirit overshadows all this. Light is Spirit. Spirit is light. And if you want to call this God, you can, but really it's you. It's you. But if you want to put a separation in it, then that's when you start creating a delusional God and Goddess. Because it's not separated from who you are. And if you put something on the outside of you and you worship something on the outside of you, that's the ego. That's the ego God. And people defend their ego God because they've been trusting in it for so long. They feel safe in it. They feel safe in their ego God. That's when they say, people when they talk about saying, I say, which God are you talking about? Are you talking about yours or somebody else's? Are you believing in their God? Are you believing in your God? Which God? The simple answer is light. It's all light. And light. Light and matter side by side. But it's the light in us that I'm talking about that's creating the universe. I said, the universe isn't creating us. We're creating the universes. All of them. We're creating them. Everything that happens in the universe is happening from each and every one of us. Not just on this planet, but life and beings on infinite amounts and infinite amounts and infinite amounts of other planets. You know what I'm saying? What we're seeing when in the universe with our physical eyes is our expressions from within ourselves, from the spiritual realm. It's that simple. You can't contain it. You can't train it, but you can create it. Every jot and tittle of my part, I don't want to use the word part, of my expression and creation, in all creation, my expression, get what I'm saying? It's kind of hard for me to say in words right now because I got to limit my words. Trying just to keep it simple right now because I get carried away with each little jot and tittle. That's the dimensions. And if you want to go up to a 12th dimension, create a 12th dimension, tell me what it is, but you want an undifferentiated source, okay? If you want to create a 13th dimension, tell me what it is beyond that. You want to say energy or something like that? Well, that's not necessarily. Because energy expresses to our physical being, you know, and to the energy expresses from us to into the universe. The energy don't come from the universe. The energy comes from us into the universe. Okay, you got that? The inner and the outer are one. From within to without to within. Because when we create in the universe, it comes back to us. It comes back to us. So it's important to create all goodness. And the only way to create all goodness is to go through this channel. The inner channel of light. To the Mahatma consciousness. The Mahatma light, I call it now. The Mahatma light center. Logos center. It's where everything is in balance. That's the reason the story of Brian, when he brought in the Mahatma consciousness, about Lady Mahatma, the goddess energy of all creation that never entered into a physical body. It came in once with a casual body, but it hung around up there and floated around to the universe and just taking peeks. But when Brian tapped into the rider of the white horse, the I am presence, consciousness, and or light center, light logos, and the crown chakra, it attracted the goddess energy, which we call it goddess and god energy at the physical level, but really it's the dynamic energy and then the receptive nurturing energy within the universal realms. But we're creating it from here. You understand? We're creating it from here because we're making it happen. Brian made it happen, just like Jesus made it happen. But we all made it happen, but they were like the chosen ones for us, in a way, because they were there. I mean, we have to be there and go through it and understand it. But to be with Brian was the energy of Peter reincarnated. And Peter was a very enlightened being. Even as a disciple, he was the only one who was aware of Christ consciousness within Jesus. You know, he was aware of that. He knew. And the energy of Peter was like he actually taught Jesus a lot in the spiritual realm sense, from the birth. There's more to be said about that too. But he's like Peter was like what I call it, you're a part of, not a part, it ain't the right word, it's like you're not the total energy of Peter, but you're just an expression of Peter into a new body of incarnation. I forget the word right now, but it'll come back to me later. Anyways, he brought in this receptive energy, and it became into body. It came into body for 3 years, and hung around with Brian for 3 years, actually in the physical body, from the casual body to the physical body. And she hung around, and they worked with each other for 3 years to ground this energy into the planet. And that's the reason everything started changing for the feminine energy from the physical level. It started to become more balanced, and it still is. Right now it's becoming more balanced with the physical, with the dynamic energy. It's all in balance, and the more we become conscious of it, the more balance it comes as for the mass consciousness. Get that, folks, when it comes to that, really, because I still study that. This balance of the dynamic and receptive energy. It's something we're creating, actually. We're creating it in the universe. And the more we understand what we're creating in the universe, the more the universe will become balanced. And that's the reason the people from all over creation of all the universes are really excited about it all, about what we're doing with that. And I gotta stop this now. This is all about dimensions. I can talk to you about other things that's really so exciting to understand. People like the word overstand now. Like, overstand? Understand? Where do you want to be? Under or over? I don't see it either way. I don't like dual things. I don't like duality in anything. If there's a duality, it's not balanced. Well, I love you all, and I hope this helps you understand dimensions within yourself, because it's all about the body. Everything's about the body within, with you inside the body, because inside the body you're creating eternal bodies, light bodies, eternal bodies. It's all about the body. The book of Revelations is all about the Bible. I mean, it's all, well, it does cover all about everything in the Bible, but it's all about your body, your senses, your chakras. That's what the Book of Revelation is all about. It's not outside doomsday what they turn it into. It's just talking about what your body's going to go through as you expand into your inner self and grow through your chakras and up. It's all about that. And it talks about if you get lost, if you get lost in the psychic stomach world, then you're going to live in the psychic realms, and you got to return back to the light and start expanding up to the chakra systems again. That's all it's talking about. The whole book of Revelation, the visions of John. The visions of John were great, man. The whole book of the Bible is great. Everything is about the body. Even the Old Testament stuff, man, before BC, it was all about the body. The stories of what the body is going to go through the years. Everything that we experience is about the body growing. And yeah, the teachings of Jesus, man, they were like all about the body. The parables, the symbols, everything. The wheat and the tares. It ain't about the outside world. The Antichrist ain't about the outside world. The Antichrist is about your part in your mind, body. That stomach, back down to the stomach. It's all 3D stuff. Jesus was trying to rescue people from. He's trying to bring them up to the heart, you know what I'm saying? He knew the parables that he was telling was to bring the body up to the heart. That's what it's all about. It's not about all this stuff that people trying to say it is in their religions. But that's in the second D, 3D. It's all okay. Because in 3D, that's all you got. If you live in the 3D, that's all you got. Until you learn there's more. There's heart. These are all logos centers and bridges from the next bridge to the next bridge, which people call dimensions. They're bridges. They're bridges into your next levels of light consciousness. But this is happening in all creation because it's happening in us. It's all happening all in the universe because it's all happening in us. I love you. Be at peace, be at peace, be at peace, be at light, 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 light. Always have light on your mind. And retain your peace. Overshadow yourself with an umbrella of love and protect yourself from the world. Okay, I gotta shut this thing off. And that's the end. Till next time again.